dream of studying abroad. Um, Maybe picture yourself walking through Singapore, soaking in that amazing energy. It sounds incredibly exciting, doesn't it? But then almost immediately that big practical question hits. Okay, what's this actually going to cost me?
And that's exactly the right question to be asking, especially right now. I mean, with global inflation doing what it's doing and just shifts in international education, figuring out the budget for 2025, it's absolutely crucial. It's really the key to making that dream happen.
Right, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear then. We're going to, well, dig into the essential info you need, based on the sources we've looked at, to really manage the costs of studying in Singapore strategically. Get ready for, I think, some pretty insightful numbers and some smart financial tips. Okay, before we jump right into the money side, why Singapore? What makes it such a hot spot for students?
Well, it really is a global education hub. You've got world-class universities like NUS, uh, National University of Singapore, NTU, Nanyang Technological University, and SMU, Singapore Management University. They're consistently ranked among the very best globally. And then there's the practical stuff. It's incredibly safe, English is widely spoken, and the job market for international graduates is strong. It ticks a lot of boxes.
And thinking about costs, maybe for students who are really watching their budget.
Yeah, this is interesting. While it offers this amazing quality, the tuition can actually be, well, quite a bit lower than similar programs in, say, the US or the UK. So that makes it a really attractive mix, top-tier education without maybe quite the same level of sticker shock.
Okay, so let's talk numbers then. Tuition fees, what kind of range are we looking at?
For undergrad programs, you're generally talking about SGD 12,000 to maybe SGD 20,000 per year. Postgraduate is a bit higher, typically SGD 18,000 to SGD 30,000 annually.
Annually, okay. And then beyond the course fees, what about just living there, day-to-day life?
Right, the living expenses. Accommodation is usually the biggest piece, maybe SGD 400 up to SGD 1,000 a month. It depends on the type, of course. Then food, transport, general stuff, probably another SGD 300 to SGD 600 monthly. So all in, you're estimating somewhere between SGD 800 and SGD 1,500 per month for living costs.
And where do people get tripped up? Those costs that aren't maybe so obvious up front, the hidden ones.
Yes, the hidden costs. These are so important because they genuinely cause problems if you haven't planned for them. Think about your student pass, visa fees, definitely health insurance that's mandatory. Also, things like textbooks, maybe specific software for your course, lab equipment, and critically, having some money set aside for emergencies. You just never know. These sneak up on people.
So putting it all together, tuition, living, these extras, what's a realistic total annual figure someone should budget for in 2025? And maybe more importantly, how do you even start to make that number feel less, well, scary?
Realistically, yeah, you're probably looking at an average annual cost somewhere between SGD 25,000 and SGD 40,000. But here's the thing, making it manageable. That's where smart planning, maybe even getting some expert guidance comes in. Things like personalized budgeting really help. They help you map it all out properly so you don't underestimate those costs we just talked about. Avoid nasty surprises.
Okay, so what's the first thing someone should actually do? Where do they start chipping away at that cost?
Okay, 3 big levers here. First, scholarships. Seriously, don't overlook these. You've got things like the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship, SINGA for PhD students, the NUS Research Scholarship, loads of options. And get this, our sources show that something like 80% of applicants who use financial planning services manage to secure at least one type of financial aid or discount.
80%.
Wow.
Okay, that's huge. That really changes the game. What else?
Exactly. Second big one, accommodation. Think about shared living. That alone can cut your housing costs by like 30, even 50% compared to living alone. You've got choices like HDB flats, that's the public housing, often more affordable or private places. And third, study plus work. Look into part-time jobs or internships. Your student pass allows for some work, and getting guidance on finding those opportunities helps. Oh, and simple things. Open a local bank account, use student discounts everywhere, food, travel, tech. It all adds up.
These strategies sound great in theory, but can you give us a real-world example, like someone who actually made this work?
Absolutely. Take Pranav Gowda. His story is a great illustration. He managed to save about 3.5 lakhs, which is roughly SGD 5,700, on his total costs. How? He secured lower tuition fees, got into campus accommodation, which is often cheaper, and landed a good scholarship. Result: he finished his course totally debt-free. And it's not just him. The data suggests students using these planning services can cut overall costs by somewhere between 15% and 22%. Real savings are possible.
Okay, so wrapping this up, studying in Singapore, clearly an amazing opportunity. And the key takeaway seems to be with the right planning, uh, using good information, being smart about it, it actually can be surprisingly affordable.
Precisely. It's about being proactive, making informed choices. That's how you avoid those common pitfalls, those hidden costs we mentioned. It's really about making international education more accessible, not just a dream for a few.
So a final thought for you listening. As you start planning your own Singapore journey, think about this. What potential cost, maybe one we didn't cover in detail, are you now reconsidering? And how could maybe just a little bit of extra research or thinking differently about it turn that potential expense into a real saving for you?